Brian Shackman here in the U.S. I want to throw it to Nicu. When we talk about banks here, much of the sell-off in Asia, or some of it, had to do with Mr. Bernanke's comments about there could be some bank failures. He was referencing smaller to mid-sized banks, but do you think that we would ever get to that point where we would see some bank failures because of what's going on?
Well, I mean, obviously, you have to look at the, at the U.S. bank or the European banks, and then come back to the Asian banks, and maybe with some focus on the Chinese bank. I think that it could be that you would see some smaller U.S. banks simply, due to the subprime crisis, maybe have some negative equity and maybe not being able to survive. But I do think that maybe you could see some more merger and acquisitions. I think maybe some of these banks would be rescued by the government. But that remains to be seen. From an Asian perspective, if you go to the China market, I mean, we have since the beginning of 2007 been very bullish on Chinese banks, even though that we did think that the environment for other financial institutions wasn't as good. And yesterday, many of the Chinese banks came out and saying that fourth quarter results is going to be 60% higher than expected. So it clearly shows that these banks have been making a lot of money last year. We don't continue seeing that going on. It's going to be more difficult, but they have a lot of reserve cash, and I think they can see some more buyouts from Chinese banks.
Real quickly, Nicu, before we let you go, I know you're launching a hedge fund. We're in some pretty tough financial times here, and you're moving forward. Tell us a little bit about it for investors to have a little perspective.
Well, this fund, the M1 Global that we are launching right now, it's a fund that we're launching in Japan. It's been licensed for retail distribution. We clearly just think that the Japanese retail investors hasn't been really spoiled with equity returns in the past, almost 20 years. So we think they've been looking for other alternatives. It's been a long process launching this fund of global hedge funds. We are looking for other hedge funds. We are currently exposed to around 44 managers. We look at conservative, consistent performing managers that are not correlating too high with the equity markets.
Okay, Nicu, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for being with us today. Nicu Harachi, CEO of N1 Asset Management, as well as Nick Parsons, Head of Strategy, NAP Capital Markets.
There's some headlines to get to here on this Friday. AIG, and we begin with them, lost more than $5 billion in the fourth quarter as bad